Welcome back in. This is On the Block. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, joined by a special guest. We got Gary Shunkwiler of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. This segment, as always, brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. So let's just bring on the man himself to talk about Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Gary, first of all, thanks for being here. How are you doing today?
Hey, doing pretty good. How you doing, Austin?
Glad to hear it. We are doing great. It's so great to have you here. Let's just start with this. Heartland of Nebraska Windows. How'd you guys get started? Tell us about yourselves.
Well, interesting enough, my wife has spent about 30 years in the window industry, and she worked previously with the prior distributor for Heartland Windows. And one day the owner decided to up and just close the doors. So we decided to negotiate a deal for a new distributorship with Heartland, the factory. And we came home owning a window company.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is, that was, going on 10 years now.
That's a little bit different approach of riding. Let's just go take a ride, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and the irony is I was kind of semi-retired at the time. So I got pulled back into working all the time, and it's been a ride since then. We're a small family owned, operated. Wife and I own it. Kids work for us.
Right.
My son's our foreman, so it works out really well. And
did you have window experience before owning the company?
No, I mean other than her selling, no, not really. Nope. In fact, I was never a big fan because a lot of window companies were, back in the day, kind of operated in like the used car business, is kind of go in high and see what you can get type of a thing. So, but yeah, no, it's a great business and we got a great product. So
yeah, speaking of your products, I know you guys do it a little bit different. I think you just got it. I think of it as you guys actually give a little bit more TLC, right? And for 10 to 11 care, actually get in there and get your hands dirty and do that. Talk about your product. What separates you? Because when I read up on you and also hear your commercial, but then hear you talk about it, it is distinct. Not taking any shots at anybody else, but it is distinctly different. Yeah. So just kind of give us what you guys do differently, your product and your process, because I think your process is part of your product
absolutely,
as well.
Yeah. Well, in investing in windows, you're really investing in not only the window but the installation process. And so when it comes to window, the Heartland window, which is made by Heartland out of Applington, Iowa, has been producing the windows now for about 30 years. And it's the only window that they make. It's the only window that we market brand-wise, even though I could market any window because it's such a high quality. It's a all vinyl triple pane window. And what separates us there is the fact that the warranty that they provide covers everything. So typically your glass and your seals are only covered for a certain period of time. Then it's prorated. And then at a certain time, there's nothing. So we have an extended warranty after the proration time is over. So the glass, the seals, everything on the window is lifetime warranty. And it's transferable. So if somebody sells their home, it can go to the next homeowner. The installation process is different because most companies out there, they do what's called a pocket window. So they just kind of pull out the old window, leave some framing and so on, and then set that window in there. We go down to the studs. So we pull the casing. We're able to go down, inspect the wood, all the studs, make sure they're good. If they're not, we replace them. Pull out all the old insulation if there is any, and then it allows us to insulate properly, which we use fiberglass and spray foam both. So it's sealed. So since we guarantee our work for life, we want to make sure it's sealed up appropriately. Yeah. So basically, the high quality window, the warranty is unbeatable, and then the installation process. And because we are a smaller company, we rely on doing that type of service for our customers that gets us the next one, because obviously we don't necessarily get repeat business very often from the same customer.
Because you do a good job the first time.
Well, they bought all the windows. And they're not going to buy any more because they don't need to. So and that's why Better Business Bureau, we're A+ accredited. We've never had a complaint against us. Our customers love us. And, ironically, the thing they talk about the most is the guys. The guys are funny. They this, that, but, they respect the home. They clean up every at the end of whenever they're done for the day and put everything away and vacuum everything up and, and start the next day then. So it's the
little things, right?
It is little things, details.
When you talked about your product, obviously with being in Nebraska, now it's just obviously you get the, you go from 90-degree heat to 90 below zero, seems like, but you get a ton of wind. And obviously when it's cold, you talked about insulating it. Talk about your product and how important it is to get it done right, not only because you won't have to come back and fix it, but it'll save people money, right? Am I
Absolutely?
okay?
Yeah. In fact, you can spend all the money you want to on a window, but if it's not installed properly into that opening, and you've got either water or air infiltration, what good was spending the money on a high quality window? So that process is important because one, if the window's not installed properly, it may not operate properly. It may not open, close, lock, that type
Sure.
of thing. Again, the pocket window concept is one where when you measure the windows, because everybody custom builds to fit. If you only leave a quarter of an inch around that window, then you try with a putty knife to shove some fiberglass insulation. Obviously, it's not going to get you much. Where we leave about a half inch, so we can go ahead and insulate properly, seal it up, and then when we wrap the outside trim work, we seal that all up with silicone. So there's virtually no way that any air or water can get into that. And there's nothing more frustrating. We've had people with new construction within a year of building that house call us and need to replace their windows because they can sit there and the curtains are just blowing. I mean, it was a lower quality builder window,
Sure,
but it was the air coming in around it because, again, a lot of companies, most of them actually subcontract out their work, in which case you just don't know what kind of work you're going to get.
How important is it to your customers to know that you guys don't subcontract, that you are your own in-house team of installers?
I think it's right up there at the top of the list. And if you asked, any of us that have ever had any type of repair done by anybody in a labor field, if they don't do it right, and then you try to go to the company, they usually get you off to the subcontractor who then gets you back to the company because nobody's taking responsibility because they've all been paid. They don't care. Where, it's all in house. So, and we do care. And we want to make sure. And again, we don't have time being a small crew to go back and fix things.
Yeah.
Because then we don't make any money on that. Obviously, our money is made when we install people their windows.
Right.
So, we'll go back if need be. But and the other nice thing is we do have a service tech from Heartland, the factory.
Oh, nice.
So if there is some problem, a latch or a lock or whatever, they will come down and service that and take it at no cost.
Another thing that I know you guys are big on is free estimates.
Absolutely.
No strings attached. If you give a call, get you guys out and check on it. Why is it important to you to have that no strings attached? That'd be an easy way to make some money, right? Just charge $50 to come out for an estimate. Why is it important to you guys to not charge for estimates?
Well, first off, my wife and I are kind of old school. So we never saw the benefit of charging somebody to see if they want to do business with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we just don't like that at all. I mean, we're there to come in and hopefully give you something that you need for a reasonable, price at a excellent service. And if you like that, then, we're going to do business together. But to charge you up front for me just to come out there and take a look at your windows,
right?
To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I gotta ask, man. It's a family-run business. How is it working with your family? When you first said that, I was like, you still alive and kicking. You look great. You got a great mood. You got a great smile. Got good energy.
Yeah.
My wife and I have worked together.
Yeah.
Well, we've 38 years. I think we've been married. We've worked together almost that whole time, 24/7 in different businesses that we've had. So that's not to say, there's not those days where, you need to go sell something. I need to go fix something type of thing. But 99% of the time, it works good. And we're very fortunate with the kids working, and especially with my son, ours, our foreman. If, we want to take some time off, Kathy and I, and, go travel a little bit or take a vacation, we can do that and know that the business is in good hands because he is just a perfectionist at what he does. And he's very sociable and personable, and the customers just love him. And if there is an issue, it's like anything, your dad is still always a phone call away if you need an answer or something. So
we're talking with Gary Shunkwiler of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Gary, you will be out at the Nebraska Lawn and Leisure Show, Husker Lawn and Leisure Show at the Sand Hills Global Event Center, starting Friday this weekend. Who's all out there representing with you? Is it just you? You bringing the whole crew? Who's out there?
Actually, my daughter, who handles all of the confirmations, the appointments, and that type of thing, is actually in Hawaii this week. Gets back on late Friday, so usually she's there the full time with me. But I'll have Ethan will be there Friday, myself, and then we got an individual, Marty, who I just hired, who will, I'm not sure if he's going to be there Friday, but he'll be there over the weekend. and then Tracy will be there, which is she always says, well, she's the good looks of the business. So
I would have thought it was you.
Yeah,
that's what I tell her.
That's why you're up front.
So we have enough people typically to man the booth, and sometimes we do get we'll have 10 or 15 people asking questions, and we've got a full display. We've got walls built with windows in them and roofs on them and the lights on them. My son does have a side business, a permanent lighting side business, so we kind of combine all of that together, and people come in, they can play with our windows, they can ask us questions, and if they're interested, they can set appointments right then and there.
And I can only assume you built your demo walls and windows yourselves. Didn't subcontract those out.
No, we did. Yeah, that was, in fact, we just finished a fourth one here this weekend. So yeah, it looks pretty cool when it's all up.
What are some of the most frequently asked questions you guys get about windows?
Well, one is, how do I really know my windows need replacing? And
that'd be one I would ask.
In some cases, it's obvious. Like, you've got some condensation in between your panes of glass. So your seals are broken. And, the efficiency in a window is going to be in that gas that's in between those panes, argon gas. And so if that seal pops and separates and that gas escapes, you've got two panes of glass, and that's all you've got. That's why you can literally sit in front of a window on a cold day or a hot day, and you can feel the heat or the cold come right through the glass.
Right.
So that's usually number one, is that fogginess or condensation in between. Sometimes it's a matter, if they're old wood windows or whatever, they've had water, issues, they're rotted. And so they don't operate correctly. The old casements, a lot of times they're crankouts. They don't crank them because they can't get them back in unless somebody goes out there and pushes them back in. And some it's just, it's a matter of appeal. Some people just want to update their home, which seems ironic. You'd want to invest that kind of money, but if your windows are 20, 25 years old, you're probably assured there's not much efficiency left in them anyway. So we're fortunate. We do a triple pane, which most companies don't do out there.
What's the difference between what most companies do and the triple pane?
Well, you get the triple and the double pane. And so basically it's one more pane of glass, but with that extra pane of glass, you got two cavities now to fill with that argon gas.
Gotcha.
And you got two coats of low E, which is kind of a baked on material, reflective material that when the sun hits it, it bounces out. When your heat and cooling hits it from the inside, it bounces it back in to keep it help keep them transferring.
And all vinyl means no wood that's going to rot, right?
Yeah, it's completely, and it's virgin vinyl. So it's not been reprocessed, because the more you reprocess vinyl, the weaker it gets. So that's why we don't have any issues with our vinyl, on our windows at all. And, again, the nice thing is, I'm not saying our windows, nothing can ever go wrong with them. But if it does, again, it's warranted, and we take care of it. It's just a phone call. Call us up, we'll take care of it.
With housing prices, so high, and, with people thinking like, okay, well, then I'll just, reinvest in my house. Have you seen an uptick in business, or you think that might be the trend where people are, what, like you said, these windows are 20 years old. We've been in the house forever. You can only maybe you're in the house 10 years, but it's been 20-year-old house.
Right.
That's a good option to bring value.
Absolutely.
Because it's obviously transferable. Is that something that you see people moving towards as well?
Yeah. We really saw that in the COVID years.
Yeah.
One, because people stayed home and they knew their windows weren't good, but they could tolerate it for a couple hours a night, right?
Yeah.
Or when they're 24/7 and that cold air coming in, yeah. It does. It's really, it's a matter of people getting to the point they know they need. I mean, we all know if our windows are bad. It's a matter of really doing the research or finding out how much it's going to be as an investment to do that. Now, fortunately, with our triple pane, they typically pay back within about 7 to 10 years if you do the whole house. So just in your energy savings alone from your energy bills. And of course, furnace runs less, AC runs less, which means you're wear and tear on those. You're not going to be replacing those as quick. And that's kind of the frustrating part to us, is when they build a new house, a lot of contractor builders will put in a builder's window, because that allows them to then put more money towards countertops or chandeliers or whatever it might be, when in essence, now these people are going to end up having to replace that and invest even more, 5-10 years down the line or whenever.
cheaping out on stuff that matters.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not advisable, which is why we advise that you can give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852. You can visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com, or, of course, stop by the Husker Lawn and Leisure Show this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out at the Sandhills Global Event Center. Gary Shunkwiler, thanks a ton for coming in. Hope we hit everything you wanted to. If not, we'll send people your way this weekend for more.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That's Gary Shunkwiler, Heartland of Nebraska Windows. We'll be back with one more segment to wrap up on the block for the day.